Hi, Meir Ezra here, and I'm going to talk to you about Corona's Truth number 7, and today we're going to talk about Italy. Yes, Italy, the big problem. Whenever I talk to anyone and show them and explain to them my viewpoint about the coronavirus, what I get is, but what about Italy? Italy is a problem. Look at the numbers in Italy. They're dying in the street. They're falling like flies. Something do not make sense because the virus is really dangerous. He likes Italians. And lately, he started to like people from Spain too. So what's the story? What's the actual truth about Italy? If you wondered what the actual truth, you arrived to the right place. I'm going to show you, and if you would watch the whole video, you would see that, wow, something, it's mind-blowing. So the first thing is I've prepared for you different graphs, and this graph, this specific graph, we'll come back to it. It is the big lie. But before we get into that graph, let's start and look at some other things. So when you look at the numbers, you see that the number of people that die in Italy, it's 7,505. But in the United Kingdom, for example, it's 422, and in South Korea, 131, and in Japan, 45. So immediately you look at that and you say, whoa, it doesn't make sense. So you look at other places, and yes, for sure, those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. 7,505, 422 in the United Kingdom, Germany, 198, South Korea 131, Japan 45, Australia 8. So what's going on? Maybe the coronavirus like pasta or pizza? I don't think so. We're going to find out exactly what's going on, because the numbers don't lie. You just have to be willing to look and not listen. You don't listen to what the radio, TV, etc. says. You look at the numbers, you'll find the truth. Here we go. So if I look at the number of cases or percentage of coronavirus cases in South Korea and in Italy by age group, something very amazing. You discover something very amazing that you probably already know, but have a look. You'll see that in Italy, 19.1% of the people that has been infected by the coronavirus was above the age of 80. And in South Korea, only 3%. So it is like 6 times more or less, a little bit more than 6 times more in Italy than in South Korea. You'll see that people that between the age of 70 and 79, we have 22% in Italy versus 5.7% in South Korea. So in Italy, we have older people. From the age of 60 to 69, we have 18% versus 12%. So Italy, old people. Okay, let's have a look. Is that really the case? So when we look at the next graph, I see that worldwide, the population worldwide of people above 65 years old have a very tiny part of the population is above 65 years old. But when I look at Italy, a big part of the population is above 65 years old. When I look a little bit further and I compared worldwide, what is the percentage of old people in compared to the globe, I find that Italy is second country worldwide in the number of old people. So you can see here that Japan is number 1, and the second is Italy, and right after it is Germany, and so on. So we know that Italy have old people, and because and usually old people have a problem, they are sick. Now what does it mean they are sick? Why people become sick? People become sick because their immune system is weak. For as long as your immune system is not weak, you will not become sick. That's obvious. So we know that in Italy, we have people with immune system that is weak. The problem is not the coronavirus, because the coronavirus, when it attacks a person with a good immune system, is not as bad as a flu. So within 24 hours, it will go away. The problem is when you have a weak immune system, and old people have weak immune system. Now let's look a little bit further, because I really want you to understand exactly what's going on, because the story is a bit more than what it seems. So I look at the number of people in Italy that get affected by influenza and pneumonia, and I look at how many people, what's the mortality rate by age in Italy, and you will see, because people that are older, just people that are older, die more from influenza and pneumonia. And since I'm claiming that the coronavirus is just a mild case of influenza, I think the only difference between influenza and the coronavirus is one. The coronavirus has an excellent PR department, excellent marketing, so the coronavirus become viral. That's all. Otherwise, the coronavirus is an easier virus to handle. Let's have a look further, okay? I really want to show you everything. This graph is a very important graph, and I'm going to talk to you more about this graph a little bit later. But before that, let's have a look at influenza in the US, okay? So in the US, every year, so if I'm looking at the year 2017, 2018, according to the CDC, 61,000 people die from influenza. 61,000 people die, okay? And we had people that went to hospital, hospitalized people, 810,000 people, and people that got infected, 45 million people. 45 million people got sick from influenza, okay? So if you look at that, and you will say, okay, fine, this is the rate in the US, so I can extrapolate from the rate in the US how many people should get sick, more or less, in Italy by the number of population. So I know that the population of the US is 330 million people. So if I take the 330 million people in the US and divide it by the number of deaths from influenza, which is 61,000, I get 5,409 per million. So now in Italy we have 60 million people, 60,500,000, which is more or less 20% of the total population of the US. So we should have 60,500,000 people divided by 5,409, and it will give me an estimated cases of about 11,000 cases, okay? But if I go and I check how many people actually die from influenza in Italy, I find something amazing. I find, you can see that in this report, that between 2013-14 to 2016-17, totally in Italy, we had 68,000 deaths, which mean if I look at 1 year, if I look just at 2016-2017, and I look at this report here, so this is, you see 7,000 in 2013, 20,000 in 2014, 15,000 in 2015, 24,981, almost 25,000 people in 2016, 2017. This is more than twice what it should be. It should be somewhere like 11,000, but we have 25,000 people that die from the flu, which means that in Italy, people die more from the flu and from the corona. Why? Because of the immune system, weak immune system. Let's have a look exactly what's happening in Italy and what really going on, and I just need you to move the noise that you heard about Italy, how bad it is, and look at the numbers. This is really fascinating. So here we go. So when I look at Italy, and this is something that I can show you, it's the source here is here, this is the source, okay? This is the website where I got the data from. When I look at Italy, it's quite fascinating. Number one, 0.8% of the people that die had no known illnesses. 0.8%. So if we had about 8,000 people that die in Italy, 0.8% would be 64 people. That's all. 64 people. That's the big noise. People that did not have prior illnesses. Now, let's have a look even further. You'll see that 74.1% had more than 2 prior illnesses. This is like this 25.6 that had 2 other illnesses, and 48.5 had 3 or more illnesses, which means 74.1% had more than 2 prior illnesses, and 48.5, half of the people that died, had at least 3 more illnesses. So when you look at that, you realize that we have a problem, and the problem is not the coronavirus. A problem is old people that has weak immune system, and we will find out why they had a weak immune system very soon. Let's continue. I want to show those numbers a little bit more. So you will see that most of those who die are older. Look, between 30 and 39, 5 cases. 40 and 49, 12 cases. 50 and 59, 56 cases. And most of the cases, 198 is above 90, 89, 82, 89, 852, etc. Most of the people that die in Italy are old. Let me show you one more thing. The average age, I'm reading from here, the average age, let me mark these things so it will be easier. Okay, so the average age of those who die from the virus in Italy is 79.5. As of March 17, 17 people under 50 had died from the disease. 17 people under 50 had died from the disease. All of Italy victims under 40 have been male with serious existing medical conditions. Serious existing medical condition. What killed them was not the virus. Although the media want you to believe that it's the virus. Really, that's quite fascinating. But before that, I want to talk to you about the immune system and why Italy has such a weak immune system. So we know they have old people. They have a lot of old people. Actually, the biggest number of old people are in Japan, and the second biggest is in Italy, according to the CDC. But yet in Japan, they don't die so much from the coronavirus, and also not from the flu. And in Italy they do. Why? Weak immune system. So what brings weak immune system? Number one, wheat, white flour, gluten. Italy eat and love pasta and pizza, and they consume a lot of wheat, and that makes their immune system very weak. That's number one. And so you will see that, for example, in Japan, where they don't eat as much pizza and pasta, they have old people, but they don't get infected as much. They don't die as much. Why? Because the immune system is stronger. In Italy, many get infected, and only the sick die. Why they die? Because the immune system is weak. Number one reason for the immune system being weak is wheat, which means gluten, which means weak immune system. Okay, number two is smoking. Italy, while they are not the biggest smokers, but they smoke in the street and they smoke around, and there are a lot of secondary smokers. So number two is smokers. And in Italy, the older people smoke more, and so they die more. And smoking reduces the strength of your immune system, and so you get sick. So what's going on in Italy? Why they die so much? Number one, lack of vitamin D. During January, February, March, there is less sun, it's winter, and they get lack of vitamin D. Number two, very fascinating. They love pizza and pasta. Now, pizza and pasta is, of course, made from flour, and flour damages the immune system. People that eat a lot of white flour damage the immune system. So, pizza and pasta contribute to a weak immune system. What's specifically going on there has to do with gluten, but I'm not going to explain all the handling. This will be in a separate part of this series. But what you should know is pizza and pasta cause the Italian to have a weak immune system. So of course you can say, but what about China? Why China had so many deaths? So well, what else reduced the immune system? Air pollution. China have major air pollution. Major air pollution result in less vitamin D and result in a weak immune system. You'll see that each one of the countries, when you go and you investigate, people that has a country that has high number of people that get affected by the coronavirus has something to do with the immune system. It's a weak immune system, it's not a strong virus. This is really important to understand. It is a weak immune system and not a strong virus. Let's go to the next point. So now I want to talk to you about the big lie, about something that you will need to investigate for yourself. You will need to look and find out. I'll give you just the pointers. You will go and find out and you'll tell me what you think. The number of influenza cases in Italy from January started to go up, and it's normal, it will go up. February it will go up, and all of a sudden you see that in March the number of influenza cases just went to almost zero. So we have reduction of influenza cases and we have increase in cases of the coronavirus. And don't you think it's weird? In one of the next videos or during this series, I will explain how they actually found the coronavirus and what are the tests and are they actually testing to what they tell us that they're testing. That's all for this time. Thank you very much for listening. This is the Corona's Truth, number 7, Italy. I've developed something that I call the Corona Survival Pack. It's a series of recorded videos and webinars that I deliver, and I give you a survival pack against the corona. I teach you how to handle the hysteria, I teach you how to handle the fear, I teach you what to do physically, I teach you which vitamins you need to take to strengthen your immune system. I give you what you need to know so you become senior to the virus. So this is really important. I'm also going to give some kind of handling, financial handling. I'm going to give you some pointers on what you need to do financially. And if you feel that you need some help with the coronavirus, join the series of webinars. You'll get some of them already, some of them as a recording, some of them as a webinars, live webinars. Simply go to www.meir, it's my name, Meir, 100x.com and registered. It costs like $17 or something like that, and it's really low cost, and I do that at a low cost because all the profit from this webinars, all the profit from this series of webinars is going to go to, I'm going to donate it for people who got hurt by the coronavirus. So this is not a money-making machine, this is a helping machine. That's all. Meir Ezra, thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next chapter tomorrow. Bye-bye.